Hello and welcome back to We Were Wondering. I'm Fiona.
And I'm Peyton. And if you listened to last week's episode, we said hopefully next week we'll be more prepared. We're
Yes, we
not.
did say that. We did say that. No. We're both in bed.
Yes.
So this is actually, if you're watching, this is my wall. I've got a good background for once. I'm usually in these like dingy little study rooms, so
Yeah, I have a
I'm excited about that.
mediocre background. I am wearing a purple sweat set though, so I feel like that's got to give me some points, right?
Yeah, I feel like that makes up for it.
Yesterday, because I did sleep in this, yesterday I was wearing this, and then my water bottle, I have it, hold on. My water bottle's purple, so I was sitting there, and my roommates were like, "Holy crap, you're purple!" And then, yeah, we got onto the topic of favorite colors. I was like, "My favorite color is not purple." It just happens. Anyways, we're gonna talk about something chill this week. We were kind of heavy last week. Not heavy, just like a little more serious, and a little more
Yeah.
like,
Existential.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, we're still there. But we wanted to touch on something fun, so we're going to talk about movies. We might even get a little crazy.
Yes.
We could maybe touch on some TV shows, get
Mm.
wild. Just entertainment, fun things. And something to start with is now people are allowed to talk about these things because the strike is over, which is
Yes.
so exciting. The writer's strike ended like a month ago, and the actor's strike just ended like last week. So, good stuff.
Yay for that. Yeah.
So, right off the bat, Fiona, what's your favorite movie?
La La Land.
We did talk about this in another episode. I would
Yeah.
have to go with either Tick Tick Boom or Moulin Rouge.
Okay, Tick Tick Boom is also awesome. I've never seen Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge is a little more what's the word? Like avant-garde maybe would be the word.
Mm-hmm.
I took a class on postmodern films, which was like that's my favorite film class I've ever taken. I also really like the professor, but postmodern films like try to break film rules, and a big part of them is like spectacle for spectacle's sake, of like making things really elaborate and like decorative, sometimes like visually, sometimes having just a really like wild plot, things like that. And Moulin Rouge is definitely one of those. So it's really fun
Uh-huh.
though. And there's a musical that's so good.
Yeah. Hey, it's on my list. I'll watch it
Hmm.
eventually.
Yeah. If you want to see it in theaters, it's coming to St. Louis in
Oh.
April. So,
Oh. Well, the odds that I'll be coming to St. Louis in
yeah.
April are, are a bit lower.
Yeah. It might be early May. I don't remember.
Hmm. Well,
But
then perhaps I'll see it.
it's very good. I like both. The musical is a little more like modern. Because the movie came out in 2001. I think it's Baz Luhrmann, if you've ever seen Baz Luhrmann films before. But yeah, Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman play the leads, and it's really
Okay.
funny because I think he technically did like the first Star Wars movie and then Moulin Rouge and then the other Star Wars movies. But like I saw the Star Wars movies first, so I'm like, this is Obi-Wan singing. It's
Uh-huh.
a little trippy.
Oh, there are a couple people like that where I'm like that they're just so like deeply associated with the role to me that I
Yeah.
can't like
It's like seeing
I
Daniel Radcliffe playing, well, anything, but I feel like he's played some
yeah.
like interesting roles recently.
I watched, have you seen Knock at the Cabin?
No, I have not.
It it was okay. I don't know. I mixed feelings on it, but Rupert Grint is in it and like he's not in many movies I
Yeah.
feel besides like Harry Potter. And this was somewhat of a there were a lot of ads for it at least. I don't know if it was too big of a movie, but I saw a lot of like promotion for it. And when he came on screen, I was like, "What? Ron Weasley? What are you?" And his character was like homophobic too, and that was like
No.
his thing was like he just like sucked. Like he was just like a shitty guy. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Ron, like What are you doing?
That happens sometimes in like the theater department where like you'll know people personally and then you'll see them play these like horrible people and you're like, "No. I can't even like
Yeah.
believe it." What's your least favorite movie you've ever seen?
Oh, least favorite movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this. Uh, I'm trying to think. Do you have one?
One popped into mind. I don't know if it's actually my least favorite cuz like there's plenty of bad movies, but I was my brain went to in theaters cuz I feel like I'm a little more
Okay.
harsh if I don't like something if I went to the theater to see it. Um
Yeah.
but I got into this movie for free, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I saw it was before it even came out because one of my friends got a job doing she like would interview movie critics. So like a critic I don't think it was a professional critic. I think it was for purposes of um like normal people how they judge it, you know, like as an audience member kind of. So it
Uh-huh.
was the two of us in this theater and then like the two people that she was going to talk to. So the theater was like empty, which also affects it, I guess. But we saw what's it called? I think that Licorice Pizza. I think that's the full title.
Yeah, I knew that's what you were talking about.
And that movie was like 2.5 hours long and nothing happened the whole time. And you're watching it and you're like, I hate both of these characters. Also, this relationship is illegal. Like, she's like in her 20s and this is a kid. He's like 15. I don't think he can even drive yet. Like, you're, I don't know if you're supposed to be rooting for them. I also don't know if the whole thing, I'm assuming the whole thing is somewhat meant to be a joke, but it wasn't that funny. So I was like, I kind of hate everything that's happening. And then like there was a random 15 minutes where Bradley Cooper is in the film and he's like wild, he's like on drugs and crazy and like that was funny just because of the
Uh-huh.
stuff he was saying, but like the movie itself was not good. And we both hated it. And I like checked the time to see how much was left and I was like, you're kidding. There is an hour left in this movie. And then we leave, we like she interviews the lady and the lady said like all of her compliments were like um like visual elements, like had nothing to do
Yeah.
with plot, nothing to do with like the story itself. It was all like they had nice like effects and like lighting and blah blah blah. And we were like, we as we walked away we were like, she was trying so hard to find something nice to say about that movie. um and then it actually like came out to the public and it had such a good rating, and then I'm pretty sure it was nominated for an award, and I texted my friend and I was like, I'm why is this nominated for an Oscar? Like it was actually considered in the Oscars. And I was like, this was the
Yeah.
stupidest movie I've ever seen. And then I was on a film set for like a short film I was doing, like on the we were filming on the day the Oscars was on. And one of the guys was like, a lot of the movies suck this year. Like the only real contender I feel like is Licorice Pizza. And I was like, you're kidding. You like that movie? It was giving like my friend said it was kind of Napoleon Dynamite where like I haven't seen that either, but she said like where the plot is just kind of stupid and like nothing really happens, but then people love it. Um
Uh-huh.
but yeah, no, I did not like that movie. It always stands out. I don't know if it's actually my least favorite cuz I don't know, but it's not good in my mind.
Yeah. No, because I do. I remember you watching it and saying you didn't like it, and then like whenever I looked into it, I was like, doesn't seem like the reviews aren't like that bad. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like horrible, but I haven't seen it, so I can't speak on it.
Mhm.
Um, well, I thought of one that I saw in theaters like recently, and I also don't think this is the worst movie I've ever seen, but I wanted to go see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
It was not good. Like it was just actually like bad. Not that I expected it to be that good,
Right.
but it was like it wasn't even scary. It was just
Mhm.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
did
know.
not like it.
if it's supposed to be scary, because wasn't it like PG-13 or something?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it could be too scary. I was expecting more jump scares because Colin,
Yeah.
my
The
roommate Colin, played the game after we watched it, and
yeah.
there's a lot of jump scares in that.
I know. That's cuz I used to watch a lot of YouTube and I could never watch even if it was YouTubers I like, I could never watch the Five Nights at Freddy's videos because there were so many jump scares and I didn't like jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
But me and my friend walked out of this movie and we were like, "What did we just watch?" Like it I don't know. And I think people who are really into Five Nights at Freddy's probably like loved it. But
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't think the reviews were like great. So I feel like even people
Yeah.
who like Five Nights at Freddy maybe wanted more out of it.
Mm.
I don't know. I
Uh,
love seeing movies in theaters though, so it
mm-hmm.
was fine. It was worth it, I guess.
Yeah. I so like Josh Hutcherson is in it, and I can, for some reason with him, I can watch him and not be like, oh my god, it's PETA. Like I
Uh
can
huh.
separate him from it. Have you watched You?
Yeah. Or
So
I've watched the first like season and a half. I haven't watched
okay,
all of it.
okay. So the girl in it is Beck in You, and I had just watched You. So I was
Oh,
watching it and I was
yeah.
like, this is just Beck. Like I feel like like I can't see anything other than Beck. And also her character, sorry. I'm hijacking your FNAF review. Um it was it was so inconsistent too. Like
Yeah.
sure they had to tone down the scariness of it for a rating, whatever. And also like it was kind of made for existing FNAF fans. So I was like, I understand that like they're not going to get into much like lore and backstory because other people watching already know those things. So putting aside the fact that it's not the most like new to Five Nights at Freddy like stuff, people. But the character, mainly the character of, I don't know her name, that was back in You, nothing she does is like connected to the next thing she does. Like, she's the most unpredictable in the sense, but not
Yeah.
in like a cool way. She's just like, what is her character? Like, I
Yeah,
don't get it.
I could never like read it was a movie that like I was entertained during. Like I wasn't bored during it,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like I agree. I was like there's no consistency in like I it's Vanessa, I think was the character. I was like there's just no consistency in like what she's doing. There's no consistency in like what is going on in
Yeah.
this movie. It was not that good. Once
Yeah.
it was entertaining. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you want to see it, go see it. I certainly wasn't bored, but
Yeah.
it's not great.
Yeah. Speaking of You, I also quit watching it. Just gets
Yeah,
old.
I watched it when it like first came out, and then sometimes when I watch shows when they first come out, either I like get really into them and like I'm like waiting for the next season, or like I just don't care about them by the time the next
Mm-hmm.
season came out, and I think that's what happened with you. So,
I watched. Okay, I don't have a healthy relationship with TV shows. It takes a lot for me to start a new TV show because when I start a new TV show, I get like addicted to it and I will fly through it. So like I watched all, is it like 6 seasons, 5 seasons of Lucifer in the span of like 2 weeks. That's not healthy. I don't know how I did that either. But like I just fly through TV shows. So I flew through the first 2 seasons of You. And then the third season, I still watched it pretty quickly, but like not as quickly. And then I just stopped. I was like, I don't want to watch season 4. I don't care. I started the first episode of season 4, and he's like in London, and you're meeting all these new people, and I'm like, I don't care at all. Like, I don't want to watch
yeah.
this. So I stopped. My roommate said season 4 switches it up a bit, like the base plot. But even then, like, I just don't care. I'm over it.
No, fair. What was sorry, bringing it back to movies
Hmm.
again. What was the most recent movie you saw in theaters? Was
I
it
mean,
Five Nights at Freddy's?
it would have been no. Yours was Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, mine was not Five Nights at
Oh,
Freddy's. I've been going to the movie theater a lot lately. I've seen several movies in
I
theaters
wish
since
I
then.
went more. Um, no, I watched Five Nights at Freddy's on like Paramount or whatever it was on.
Mm,
With my roommates, we watched it on Halloween.
yeah.
Um, no, I mean it would have been Oppenheimer. I don't think I've been to the movie since Oppenheimer, which I've already talked about Oppenheimer for like 20 minutes on this podcast, so I'm not gonna do it again. But
Fair. Well, then I've seen. Do you want to know how many movies I've seen in theaters since we saw
I
Oppenheimer?
I would.
So first I saw Oppenheimer again.
Nice.
Um, and then I saw Bottoms, which was actually really funny, and none of my roommates wanted to go see it with me, but it was actually really good. Well, I knew I would like it. I don't know if my roommates would have liked it, but it was really funny, so I would recommend. Then I saw the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Then I saw Killers of the Flower Moon the other day because that one was one that I like had read before it even come out that it was supposed to be really good, and it was one that was like predicted to be up for like Oscars and whatnot. Which that one was also really good. It was really interesting. It is like 3.5 hours long. I think it was probably the longest movie I've ever seen. But it was a good movie. Like I don't think they should have like or they needed to cut any of it down. And then last night I went to see Priscilla,
Oh, how was
which
that?
it was good. It was interesting just cuz like it was very. Have you seen the Elvis movie?
I haven't. I was just gonna say I am bad at keeping up with movies.
Fair. I'm like I go through phases where I get like really really like into movies and like I have to watch all the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go through phases where I don't. So like there are some like years where I'm like, "Oh, I've seen every movie that came out." And then other years where I'm like, "I don't think I've watched a movie in decades."
Yeah.
But so like in the Elvis movie, Priscilla really she has like three lines. Like she's not it's very much an Elvis movie. It's
Mm.
not like it is not a Priscilla movie. It's not like focused on her at all. So it was an interesting like perspective. And like Jacob Elordi plays Elvis and he's so tall. He's like 6'5" or something like
Yeah.
that. And then it's like Kaylee Spaney, I think, is Priscilla, and she's short. And like they from the start they're like trying to emphasize kind of like the creepiness of it because Elvis met Priscilla when she was like 14, 15, and he was a full grown like adult.
Right.
So like they do a good job at making her just look young,
Mm.
and he's really tall. So
Speaking of Jacob Elordi, what are your thoughts on Euphoria, the next season of Euphoria coming out in like 2025?
um I Euphoria is just I like Euphoria, so I'm
Mm.
excited about that.
I've seen a lot of like TikTok and stuff online of people being like, just stop. Don't even bother. It's been,
Yeah.
when it's 4 years, are they still in high school? Like that kind
Yeah,
of
that's
thing.
true. There
I
has
just, I don't like any of the characters anymore. Like
mhm.
season 1, I still liked some aspects of different characters. Season 2, they just like destroyed every single character with the exception I feel like of Lexi. I still liked her. I feel like when it ended. And then Fez, obviously Angus Cloud passed away, so they probably have to
Yeah.
change their plans for that. Um and that was the only plot line I cared about by the end of season 2. And like I still care about Rue because they do a really good job of showing how terrible addiction is on your life and how it makes
Mhm.
you say like the most vile things to people you actually really love and like how it tears people apart and how it can turn a good person into a, I don't want to say a bad person, but like a different person. And like I think it does a good job, and so I'm still like rooting for her to like overcome it, you know? but like they didn't leave her in a good place. And then
Yeah.
um meaning like a hopeful place. It was very like not hopeful at all. And then like Maddie, I hate her. Cassie, hate her. Nate, always hated Nate. Don't even really like Jules that much. Like just a lot of the characters I was like, I don't care about you anymore.
Yeah.
I'll still probably watch it, but
Yeah, I think that's one where it just there was so much going on. And I like when shows like release the weekly episodes because I remember watching the last season. I lived in my sorority house and like people would like everyone would come to the TV room to like watch the new episode
mm-hmm.
of Euphoria, you know? So it was like I don't know. I like when they release them like that cuz then I feel like it like builds up like hype around it cuz I feel like that's what I enjoyed about Euphoria was just that like, you know, A, there's a lot going on and B, just like everyone is watching it.
Mm-hmm. I'm also excited for the next Bridgerton season. I'm more
Mhm.
excited for the one after that.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I get what Benedict is probably my favorite of like the sibling characters. He's always like a background character, but I always like his little pieces, and I think he's really funny. And so I'm excited for his season because also it's because he's had such a minimal part. Like, it'll be nice to see him at the focus. Whereas
Mhm.
like Anthony still had a pretty decent sized role in Daphne's season, stuff like that. Um, but I'm so glad they flipped it because I could not handle another season of like little Colin and Penelope things. Like it's
Uh-huh.
so like hinted at and like milked that I couldn't handle another season of them just not being together because then they want us to want them together and I'm like just do it already.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
not like
agree. They
good
do.
suspense, you know?
Yeah, it's not like a good little like slow burn action. It's more like they're just like, look at them. Don't you want them to like fall in love? And we're like, okay, yeah, then like do it.
Yeah,
Like
literally.
also, I realized I forgot another movie I saw in theaters. I also saw Haunting in Venice,
Okay.
which was good. The one thing I didn't like about it is I like with those kind of movies because it's like a like murder mystery
Hmm.
suspense thing. If you've seen um Death on the Nile, it's like the same thing. But I with those kind of things, I like when I can like piece it together
Hmm.
a little more. Like I like to be able to like deduce it myself, and I felt like I couldn't with
Mm.
that. And maybe
That's
like
good.
if I was a little bit smarter, I'd be able to. And when they did like the big reveal, you know, it made sense. I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, I get it." And they like reveal the hints or whatever.
Hmm.
But the hints were like I was like how was I supposed to know that? Like I was like I'm not supposed to like or like there was one hint that they like dropped that like I was like I could tell this is a hint, but like I don't know
Yeah, what
I'm
it
missing
means.
something. Yeah. But I liked it. I like when I can figure things out.
um, Not a similar movie, but kind of. It's a comedic version of that. I watched, which this isn't a new movie, but I watched Murder Mystery 2 last week.
Mm.
Um, or no, over the weekend I watched it just because I was in the mood to watch a movie. Um, yeah, so comedic version of that.
I have not I've seen Murder Mystery like 3 or 4 times.
Hmm.
I've technically watched Murder Mystery too, but it was like one of my roommates put it on last year while I was doing homework, so I was just not paying attention. So I need to watch it.
I feel like I might have liked the second one more than the first one, honestly. Like I liked the first one. The first one I feel like was more comedic in like the amount of people that died. And the second one like they still have comedic deaths, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like left and right. Like there's a scene in Murder Mystery 1 where it's literally like boom, boom, boom and like 3 people die in the span of like a
Yeah.
very short amount of time, which happens in Murder Mystery 2, but it's less like insane. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I liked it a lot.
Oh,
I like a good
fair.
comedy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've watched any good comedies lately.
Also,
Probably my favorite movie of 2023, or like my favorite movie that I've watched that's come out in 2023 was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which I know you haven't seen.
right.
Um, but that movie is just so awesome. Like I feel like even if I and then I rewatched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse last night. I paid 99 cents to watch it. So
Wow. Committed.
I know it was yeah. Well, cuz I saw that they put Across the Spider-Verse on Netflix and I was like, I want to rewatch that. But I want to rewatch the first one first. But I feel like, and I mean maybe I'm wrong because I like these things, but I feel like they're the kind of movies that like even if you don't like animation, it's just such an awesome movie. Like
Yeah. I'm in an animation class right now. It's fine, but I'll tell you about this. I don't feel like we need to get into it on the podcast, but I had like the most wild class period on Monday. The teacher just says concerning things sometimes. And he was saying such concerning things about so many different topics. And then I made a list in my phone of the things he said. But again, I'm not gonna say it here, but just offensive things. And then proceeded to watch the South Park movie for class period
okay.
that day. So it was like the most wild class. I also don't like the South Park movie. I guess I can add that to the list.
List of movies you hate.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, for what it is, it's fine, but what it is isn't what I tend to go for.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen it.
I'm going to give you a series of this or that movies.
Okay.
Okay. I only have one example, so we'll see how it goes. Pride and Prejudice or Little Women.
Little Women.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Hold on. I really only had one. Okay. No, because I know what you'll pick. Hunger Games, just the whole series, or
Yeah.
Twilight.
Hunger Games. I don't think well, I've seen the first Twilight movie like probably like 6 times. I don't know if I've ever seen it
Really?
sober.
Oh. I thought you were gonna say I don't know if I've seen any of the other ones.
No, I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Okay.
But
No,
I don't know if
wild.
I've ever fully watched the first one.
There was one day, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where me and 2 of my roommates watched the first 3 Twilight movies, like in one day. They're like a joke to watch, but like you do watch it, you know? Anyways.
Oh yeah, I'll watch them eventually. Maybe.
I was trying to find another like book to movie adaptation to pair against Harry Potter, but I was like, you're never gonna pick something over Harry Potter.
Yeah, I love Harry Potter.
Yeah. This is a different question. What's a movie that's like really nostalgic for you?
Ooh. A movie that's really nostalgic. This is one I haven't seen this movie in years, but Mary Poppins. It was one of like the only movies we had on DVD.
Like
we had
Julie Andrews original Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we had that on DVD. We had Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and then we had the Madagascar movies. But the Madagascar movies I watched so many times that I thought they were annoying. So those ones aren't nostalgic. But Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang are.
Nice. I feel like because I watched a lot of like the Barbie movies and stuff when I was little. So like those are always nostalgic in a sense. Oh my gosh, has anybody listening, have you ever seen the movie The Princess and the Goblins? I just have to know because nobody in my life ever has seen that movie. And I think about it all the time. I'd go to my grandma's every summer for like a week or less than a week, few days, whatever. And for like years, my grandma, before I came, would go to the library and rent Princess and the Goblins on VHS and then bring it home, and then we'd watch it like 3 or 4 times while I was there. So it's very like, I think of like summers at my grandma's house when I see that movie. And there's also a song in the movie. There's one song, and they sing it like 3 or 4 times. And it's just so like, it's a cheaply made movie. I mean, maybe not because it's old, so it's like the animation just isn't very good. But like, I don't know. It's so nostalgic to me, and I just need to know if anybody has seen it.
Oh, you know what movie's nostalgic? Um, Hoodwinked.
Oh my
Have you ever
gosh.
seen
I need to see
Hoodwinked?
I know the title. I need to see
No,
some sort of visual.
I I like rewatched Hoodwinked. Honest, not that. It was like probably 5 years
Oh,
ago.
I have not
The
seen that.
anim the animation in it is so bad. No, it's
Yeah.
like, and then it's like it's scary, and it came out in like 2005. So like at the time, like I remember watching it. I'm like, this is so cool. Like this looks so good. Peyton, can we watch Hoodwinked over Thanksgiving break? I'm not even joking. I like actually
Yeah.
want to watch it so bad.
Yeah, we can.
It's so funny.
I
And
th-
it's yeah, it's
sorry.
only an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. We can watch that. If we can also watch Princess and the Goblins. The full movie's on YouTube. Don't even worry.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, so we've got a good lineup. Guys, don't be jealous.
Do you want to hear movies that used to scare me as a kid? Everything
Yeah,
scared me as a kid, for reference.
no,
It
me
makes
too.
sense to who I am today. That everything scared me. So I was terrified of Mulan. I don't know why.
Okay.
I remember watching it with my mom once, and I was older than 5. I know that because of which house we lived in. But the scene at the very beginning where like she's riding the horse in the rain and like leaving, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of like thunder and lightning and stuff. And I think, or maybe it's when when you first meet Mushu, and you think it's gonna be a big dragon because his voice is like booming, and then they pan to like multiple dragon images. So I thought there was gonna be a big scary dragon. So I was scared, and then my mom was like, "No, keep watching. Like it's a good movie." Um, we love Disney movies. Um, and then by the time when she was on the horse, like riding away into the rain and storm and whatever, I was like, no, turn it off. And so didn't watch Mulan for like years because I thought it was scary. I also was scared of Over the Hedge.
I think I was
um,
kind of scared of Over the Hedge too.
it's kind of scary for a child.
Yeah.
I was scared of, this isn't a movie, but in Dora the Explorer, I was scared of Swiper. Um,
Mm.
I was scared of, oh, what? There was a movie I watched that had talking bears, and I was really afraid of talking bears for a while. I had a list of things that I was scared of that were like somewhat mythological or like not real animals. And
Yeah.
my parents had to say the list before I went to bed every night. They'd have to say, there's no such thing as dragons, there's no such thing as monsters, there's no such thing as whatever, every
Stop.
single night. But then, now that I think about that, all that does is remind me of all those things right before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
But after I watched some movie, I'm going to ask my mom which movie it was. It might have been Over the Hedge, I don't know. Because there's a talking bear in that, right?
Probably.
But, they had to add talking bears to the list. But yeah, just generally everything scared me. I'm sure there's so many more, but those are the ones that come to mind right now.
I was scared of Chicken Little because
Mm-hmm.
the sky was falling and
Yeah.
he was just looked really like distressed, and that freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
I was also scared of Stuart Little, partially because it reminded me of Chicken Little, but also just because I was like, there was like a scene where he gets like stuck in the washing machine, and I was like, he's gonna die, and it's like they're gonna kill this poor. It was distressing for me. I also didn't like Flushed Away. Is that the one with the rats?
I don't know. I'm looking up every movie
What's
as you say it because I can't like picture any of these. That's, yeah, these guys.
Yeah, I that one That one I think just kind of freaked me out a little. I don't know if I was like scared of it, but I was like, these rats are getting flushed away.
I think I was afraid of the concept of Ratatouille. And then I never watched it
Uh-huh.
because I was afraid of the concept.
Have you still never seen it? You've never
Like,
seen
I passed the
Ratatouille?
age where most people would see it, because I was scared.
Like, I feel like I've watched it again I guess, like in the past 5 years at least.
I feel like it's a movie that everyone talks about all the time. And, like, I've never seen
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies I've never seen, to be fair, so.
Yeah. There are a lot of movies I've never seen too.
Oh, my favorite movie as a little kid was Nemo. I like Finding Nemo. I watched it
Hmm.
like 2 to 3 times a day from the age of like 3 to 5. And um my mom's friend had a daughter that was like a year older than me, and she really liked Finding Nemo. And then her mom told my mom, "Hey, you might want to skip the first like 2 minutes of the movie, just so you know, so you don't traumatize your child." And so she did for like a couple years. And then the first time I watched it, apparently I was terrified. I was like, no, no, this isn't how it starts. No, it's first day of school, first day of school. That's where it starts. And it's not. It starts with
Yeah.
violent murder.
It's like Phoebe and
I
Friends
know. I
where
was gonna intro it with that. I have a yeah Friends reference for everything. That's actually a legit one though. But yeah, I had a Friends
what's your favorite movie currently? I don't think I got to hear your answer.
Yeah, it was Moulin Rouge slash Tick Tick
Oh,
Boom.
yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
Moulin Rouge, I would say Tick Tick Boom is my favorite movie. Moulin Rouge is one of my favorite musicals. Um, just because, I don't know, I separate them a little bit. Tick Tick Boom just is emotional, like every time I
Mhm.
watch it, even though I know it's going to happen. So I like, I, yeah, I put that up there. Also, like, Andrew Garfield's just a very talented actor.
Have you seen The Social Network?
No.
I I rewatched that like 2 days ago. It's really good. I would recommend, but Andrew Garfield's in it. So,
Nice. Is that I don't think that would be that one. The one where he plays like a detective.
no, that's the one about Facebook, like Mark Zuckerberg and
I really do want to watch the detective one of him too, where he's like in the Mormon community investigating a murder. Like, the concept sounds really interesting to me. It's based on real events, I'm pretty sure. What's a movie that like traumatized you?
oh, sorry, I like banged my head against my bed. Like traumatized me
You can take it
in
either any way.
um
I can go first. One
oh,
came to mind. If you
yeah,
want.
you go first.
Okay. Um, when I was 12 or 13, I watched Titanic with my family, and that was traumatizing. I like hyperventilated, like sobbing. Um, that's the hardest I think I've ever cried because of a movie. And then my parents like made fun of me the whole time, and they still will. They'll be like, "This is a sad movie. Like, we don't want Titanic tears again." Things like that. Um, we also watched it like before going on a cruise. I don't know why we did that. We
Oh,
joked about it at the time. But yeah, no, that movie traumatized me a little bit. More like emotionally traumatized than like scared
yeah.
me. But yeah, now it just pisses me off. The movie. I'm like, come on. Like, props department, make a smaller door. Like,
I've only ever seen Titanic once, and I watched it while I was putting together furniture last year, and so like I wasn't
mhm.
really paying attention. So I feel
Mm.
like I've never really seen Titanic.
I don't think it. I mean, it's still emotional, but I don't think it would hit me as hard now as it did to my like 13-year-old self.
Yeah.
I cried when I. What's the movie that I watched recently that I cried?
Oh, the last movie to make me cry was Eighth Grade. I did cry during that movie.
I thought you meant you haven't cried during a movie since 8th grade, and I was like, I know
Um,
that's not true.
yeah, that is not true. I'm trying to think of a movie. Okay, this isn't a movie that traumatized me, but one that just always really gets me is Beautiful Boy. Like the first time I watched it, that was when I just like I started crying like halfway through it, and then I just like kept crying the rest of the movie. Like it was just,
Yeah.
but it didn't traumatize me. I love that movie. It was
Yeah.
so sad.
I know that there is a movie within the past year that I just watched it like on my computer by myself that made me cry, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is. It also could have been a TV show, but I don't feel like I've watched enough TV shows in the past year that are new for it to have been that. I did cry during the Black Panther 2 movie. I saw that in theaters last year.
I
Um,
still haven't seen that.
Fiona.
I
I
know.
actually, so I was like big Marvel fan for a while. Marvel got me through the year of 2020. um, so I was very like on top of everything that was coming out for a while. And a bunch has come out this year and I'm just not keeping up with it at all. And yeah, I don't know, maybe my Marvel days are coming to a close. Hard to say.
Yeah, I feel like it's like 2020 and like before was like peak Marvel where it
Right.
was like all like the really hyped up stuff was coming out, and I think that
Mhm.
like added to it compared to the stuff that's coming out now is, I mean, I've seen not most of it. I've seen some of it kind of, but like before it was things coming out with like characters that I like cared about or like already had interest in, where compared to now it's like new people that I'm not as into.
Right. I kind of wanted to watch the Loki one, like the next season.
Mhm.
I watched the first season, but I haven't yet, and I also feel like that show is to set up future plots, and I don't know if I'll keep up with it
Fair.
enough to like warrant watching it. It's actually like really bothering me that I can't think of the movie I'm trying to think of.
Do you
Never.
have
I'll think of
any?
it tomorrow. I have nothing. I
Yeah,
know that there's a man in it. That's all. That's the
yeah, that
extent
doesn't
of my
help me.
knowledge. No, somebody either dies or like, but it's not a super sad movie. It's like the ending is
Mhm.
like, it's like a sweet ending, but it has like a sad layer where like somebody dies or they like, I don't know, something happens, but it's like peaceful, but it just hurts a little bit. That's the kind of cry it
Mhm.
was, and I wish I could remember what it was now, but I can't. Um. Anyways.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I no, definitely the last movie was eighth grade, but I watched eighth grade in August. I'm looking at my Letterboxd.
Mhm.
I'm an avid Letterboxd user. If you don't know what that is, pretty much you just like log movies you've seen, and then you can like review them and
Mhm.
rate them. I started. I had it back in like 2020, and then I didn't really use it, and then I started actually using it again in July of 2022, and I have logged pretty much every single movie I've watched since July 2022
Wow.
on Letterboxd. So,
I have not. For a while, I was logging every movie I watched for my class,
mhm.
but I haven't done that this year. Oh, I watched some. I forgot about some of these movies. Have you watched Memento yet?
I have not.
That's one that, for anybody that's seen Memento, that one really like. I thought that was just a very well done movie. It was very creative in like format, and I think that they tied it up like so well. Um, and yeah, I watched
No, it's been on my list for a while, but
in that film class. We watched. This is my postmodern class. We watched Memento, and then the next week we watched Mulholland Drive, and those are two I feel like fairly common like film studies movies. And those were both so good, and I really liked them. Then we watched like Watchmen. I hated Watchmen. Then we watched Birdman. That was a weird movie. I didn't love that. So there are some that were very like, I hate this, and then some that were great, which makes sense. But I'm trying to remember what all of these were. Yeah, just some strange movies in that class.
No, fair.
I'm going to read them off. We can cut this if you've seen none of them, but let me know if you've seen any of these. Barton Fink, Natural Born Killers, Ed Wood, Being John Malkovich. I'm assuming you've seen American Psycho. That's one.
I have not seen American
You
Psycho.
haven't? Oh, don't tell
I feel
half
like I haven't seen a lot of like classics, you know?
I haven't
like
either.
Movies that you're supposed to watch.
Yeah, this was just because like watching it for this class was the first time I watched it. Memento, Mulholland Drive, Minority Report, Adaptation, No Country for Old Men, Watchmen, Winter's Bone, and Birdman. Those were all the movies I watched for that film class. And there's some interesting ones. Yeah. Winter's Bone has Jennifer Lawrence in it. Adaptation has Meryl Streep. That was an interest. I feel like Meryl Streep played like quite a bit of a different character than like she normally plays.
What is one movie that you would like me to watch?
I mean, probably Memento.
Okay.
Just because I think like you would enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't know what movie I'd like you to watch. I'm trying to think of one I think you would really like, but I don't know. Well, you haven't seen La La Land, right?
Right.
I think you should watch La La Land. I don't know if you would love it, but you should watch it for me.
Okay. I'll watch La La Land.
You should also watch the Lego Movie.
All right. Two very similar movies.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll watch those movies and report back.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to close out this episode. We could probably talk about these things for another hour, but for your sake, we'll stop here. Let us know if you want more content like this where we just talk about popular
what we like and
things. Yeah. Anyways, that's the end of today's episode.
Yeah, let us know your favorite movies by contacting us on social media. It's all linked. You know where to find us. Follow me on Letterboxd for my movie reviews.
Yeah, you could follow me too for not much. Anyways, see you next Wednesday or some other day next week at this rate. Yeah. Next week for us hopefully is Thanksgiving. Wednesday. So
yes,
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, also, just wanted to share. Yesterday was my birthday.
So. Oh yeah, Fiona's finally legal.
Yeah, wish me happy birthday.
We had talked about doing a drinking episode, but the more I think about it, the less I want to do it. It's just kind of sad. Like, it's just you and me probably in my basement, like, taking shots.
Well, doesn't need to be shots.
That's true. I think that we can do some other, like, fun casual episode or, like, a game of some sort to be doing, and then we can just be, like, sipping on the side. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, that would probably be the next episode that you'll see. So, look out for that. Maybe on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Anyways, have a great day. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.